I've had one of these shakes every day for over 15 years now. If it's too late in the day and I haven't had it, I'm like, I need to have that shake. Why is that? Why does this shake make you feel this way?
Because it's not altered. It's real. It's basically us being so careful in how we source our ingredient, how it's grown, how it's harvested, and how it's processed, that it remains alive. So it feeds you. And if you keep eating it every day, you will feel the difference. This is real stuff. So it works.
Welcome to a very special episode of the BODi Experience. It's special because for the first time, I'm doing an interview with a celebrity, my very own wife. Hey, this is Isabelle Daikeler. Welcome to the BODi Experience. What?
I said, Brousseau made it.
Yeah, that's the original name. And, you know, anybody wants to look you up, see that you were on Star Trek. That's fun. So you're here, though, because we're celebrating a very exciting anniversary.
Yes.
Not ours, but the 15-year anniversary of the formulation of Shakeology. And the reason that it's so meaningful to have Isabelle here is because the whole genesis of this amazing, potent, nutritious shake was because I eat like a second grader, and Isabelle would watch me, and I would say, is there anything that I can do to just chug a glass full of vegetables? And that's when we started talking about, and I would watch you drink shakes and stuff, and we ended up, you know, you formulated this, basically got the formula started, and then we brought in Darren O'Lean, and the rest is history, over 1 billion servings. But I want to start.
Well, I want to let you know, though, I was doing a lot of shakes before. This is why you were watching me making shakes at home, right? Because I was making shakes for my client when I was training. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of experience just putting stuff together, trying to make it palatable. And I kept doing it at home, and then you saw me do that.
So let's actually start there, because people don't know the background. You know, they're like, oh, you know, what does she know?
Yeah.
And actually, your first foray into creating a commercial or a product for sale was actually with a very large, very famous health food store.
Correct.
That had you create a line of shakes. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. So in those days, there was not that many shakes. It was not so hip and so known. So it was still just foreign for people. They were not sure if it's going to work. And I was working at a health store. I was taking care of the supplement vitamins department. And I was quite good at it. And I think the management must have given my name to the people that were interested in making a shake with their name on it. And it was exciting, and I loved it. And I did my best, and I gave them my formula. And then slowly, every meeting was about, this is too expensive. Could you put something similar, but that's a little cheaper? Actually, can we get rid of these two, because that makes the price range too high? And it kept going on and on. This one is too difficult to get in the amount that we need. And it just became such a copy, like a weak copy of what I had created for them, and I was very excited about. And it just made it something completely different, cheap, and something that would never benefit your health. I could tell right away that it would have no function in your well-being. And so I just walked away. I just walked away. It was just not worth it.
Now, what was it? I mean, I think that's the ultimate proof that walking away from a commercial enterprise, you could have made a lot of money as a huge chain, but what mattered to you was the quality of the product that your name was on.
Yes.
And I think that's so important for people to know about Shakeology, because you still drink Shakeology.
Yes.
Because you believe in it.
Yes.
So let's go even a little bit farther back. How did you even become a person that understood how to formulate and what matters, and adaptogens and prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and all that stuff? What's that background?
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking me, because it's true. I don't have a degree in any of that. Thank God we have our team. They have all the degrees we need to check everything and make sure everything is safe and potent and as effective as possible. But back in the days, it's because in my 20s, I started getting quite ill, very tired, headaches, body ache, and just exhaustion, complete exhaustion after the second year. I was unable to even walk to get into my room. I was very depressed. I was scared, and I went through all the doctors. And the best they could do for me was to tell me that I was probably depressed, and they gave me an antidepressant. And that was it. And I was broke, and I didn't know what to do. So somehow, I forgot how, I was sent to Koreatown and Chinatown. And I met just wonderful women in the market, and they just gave me a load of root vegetables and plants and herbs and mushrooms. They told me how to cook it, and a bunch of instructions, and I ended up in my little apartment cooking these big bassins, these big buckets of disgusting, liquidy, thick potion, almost like a witch in the cartoons. And my place stank. But within 2 months, I started to get better. And that's after 2 years of going to every possible doctor. Nobody knew what I had. But they could look at me, and they could deal with the vital sign of what being healthy is. And they slowly taught me what these ingredients were and what it was doing. And some of them were adaptogen mushrooms and herbs. And so I fell in love with it. And I continued my journey with them. And then when I was training people, most people I was working with, I could tell that they were also missing vital nutrients in their diet, especially because they're constantly on diets. They were mostly athletes or actors, and they had to look a certain way. So they were constantly playing with different type of diets, and I could tell that they didn't have the vitality that was needed, especially as a trainer. They didn't have the vitality to build the way I want them to build. So I started making shake for them. And my education continued, and it never stopped. Mm-hmm. So I saw the results on myself, but I also saw how it worked on all sorts of people, whether you were 6'5", 250 pounds, or 5'4" and 110. It just worked. It helped everybody. So this is how I slowly got to make the shake, is that my education started there, through my clientele, and then with you. Because it worked on you too.
Yeah, well, I don't eat vegetables, not well. I mean, I've managed to work my way there. Yeah, but why is it, like I've had one of these shakes every day for over 15 years now, and I can feel it. Like if it's too late in the day and I haven't had it, I'm like, I need to have that shake. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are thousands of people that feel the same way, that have maybe left the shake, tried something less expensive, yes, and they're like, it's not feeling the same.
I know many that did that as well.
Why is that? Why does this shake make you feel this way?
Because this shake is food, and that's the major difference.
What do you mean by that? Because we have to call it a supplement.
Yeah, yes, I know, but it's food. And that's basically what I learned as well at the market, is it's food, and it's healthy food, meaning it's not killed in the process.
What you're saying is, I just want to be careful because lawyers, right, and food. Okay. But what you're saying is it feeds you.
What I'm saying is it's not altered. It's real. The soil is a good soil. The water that is feeding the soil is not loaded with chemicals. The processes that we use to extract the potency, the constituents, are delicate and kind. So we are getting everything that we could get from these ingredients without killing the plant. We're trying to keep it alive. The actives in the ingredients is what we have in this shake. And, all shake could look the same. If you look at a bag, the ingredients could be the exact same thing. That's where sourcing is the most important thing, and the processes is the most important thing. You can have the exact same ingredients, like I was saying, but if one comes from a dead soil and is processed harshly with chemicals and high heat, everything is dead. Nothing is in it. So they can make the claims, but it won't work because they killed it in the process, and it was not even vital and healthy to begin with because the soil wasn't healthy. So the difference when I say it's food is all that. It's basically us being so careful in how we source our ingredient, how it's grown, how it's harvested, and how it's processed, that it remains alive. So it feeds you. This is why when you drink it, you're not hungry anymore. And this is why over time, you feel better and better. This is real stuff. So it works. And just like drinking water and eating healthy, this is what the shake is. It's good stuff. And if you keep eating it every day, you will feel the difference. This is why if you're consistent, it's hard to let it go. And like I said, and like you said, I know friends and acquaintances that have left it, but they always come back because they don't feel the same way.
Mm-hmm. So when we set out to create something that was very different, right? Like I didn't have a problem getting protein. That was easy. But getting nutrition, I'm not going to go looking for these exotic superfoods and try to figure out how to prepare them. I don't want the kitchen to stink like your herbal kitchen did, like all that stuff, right? So we set out to make this, and frankly, at the beginning, we didn't even care. Like I didn't care about what it tasted like. I'm like, if I can do a shot of tequila, I can do a shot of greens that are going to be good.
Correct. I remember
me.
that.
Yeah.
Actually, I preferred the taste when it was a bit more gross, I guess. That was your word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gross at the beginning.
It was not.
Yeah, it was. But,
Okay.
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
So, but at the beginning, when we set out to do this, you felt like you wanted some assistance. So how did you find Darren and why did you work with him?
Well, I needed him badly because I didn't know how to source. I've never sourced. I've done my best research, but I never went and got a supplier. So I needed help. And Darren had that experience. I met him through my first job. I was working in the supplement vitamins department. Darren's friend was working at a health food store and was doing that job. Isn't that funny? I just realized that, yeah. And I loved him, and I would go to him. At some point, I mentioned to him that I was looking for someone. He mentioned Darren. I think that's how it happened. And then, he just asked him to come to my house to meet and discuss it. And what I asked of Darren is to bring me a list of the ingredients that he would want in a shake. And I had my own list. And literally, the list was almost identical. So I knew it. He was the guy.
Now, what did that list mean?
It was a list of, like I mentioned earlier, of all the ingredients that I felt are necessary. And by that, I don't mean just the necessary ingredients, but all the bells and whistles that I felt was needed for our well-being. So it was the protein, and it was the superfood, the mushrooms, the herbs, the vegetables, the fruits, but the best, like I would call some fruits superfruits, super greens, and probiotics for the well-being of our gut. So the fiber and some carbs through healthy vegetables, like I said, and all the chlorella and the maca and yacun, all the side nutrients that I fell in love with throughout the years, that I felt would bring that vitality. And not many people would have. It was an extensive list. And at the time, we made all these ingredients popular. At the time, it wasn't known at all. So the fact that Darren came and had a similar list was really fantastic.
So, what always, I think, surprises me, and I think that it's easy for most people to sort of go, well, why do I need this? Like, you just think, I can go get food, I can make a salad, I have my burger, I eat and I feel good, but maybe dismissing the fact that my energy is not the same or that my digestion is not that good, whatever. But like, it's amazing to me as a product of nature, me as a human being a product of nature, that I need something this sophisticated to be healthy. Like, why do I need the things that you just listed? Why do I need that these days?
Well, first of all, when you say I can just go to the store and get all that stuff, people say they do, but I train people for over 15 years. They don't. They think they do, but they get very easily stuck in a pattern of behavior of what they buy. They like it, they're used to it, they know how to make it taste good, and it's just a little rotation of very minimal diversity. So they don't. In general, I don't know if that's going to sound bad, but my experience is they don't. They don't go all over the store and try to make it as diverse as possible. So that's the one thing is, as far as I know, they think they do, but they don't.
So this is in one scoop. You're basically getting...
You're getting that and then some. Like I said, the bells and whistles is... Nowadays, there's toxins in everything. So, and people are not aware how immune of life the soil is. They still, it's better, but they still don't realize how GMO pesticide, herbicides, and the way we are utilizing the soil over and over again, where the soil is not alive and fertile anymore, depletes our food big time. Also, in America, it's very different. They don't accept those things in Europe. If you go to Europe, the food tastes very different, and you feel more nourished. When you come back to America, you can feel that difference. So we're unfortunate here. But regardless, we don't eat enough diversity, and we are stressed. Our lifestyle is not normal. You know me, I don't like computers and phones. They're fantastic. I know they're fantastic. I know it serves us so well, but we're hooked, we're addicted, and it's not serving us in many, many ways. So our central nervous system is depleted that way. So in many ways, our lifestyle is requiring us to be better at how we feed ourselves. And most of us won't go through the effort to utilize the basic and then the herbs and the spices and all the things that we added in the shake that made it so nutritious, because it's not just about feeding you, it's about bringing back that vitality, bringing back that strength, that ability to cope with stress.
So since modern lifestyle has raised the stress level,
Everything.
the stressors, and the toxins in the things that we consume, we need to compensate for that with diversity of what we're eating and what's clean, that there's something that is helping our bodies process that.
Yeah. I see it in you. I see, because of the way you work nonstop on your phone, even when you eat, you're not really eating, taking your time to digest. You're still working. And I know everybody does that. So the level of stress is so much higher than people think it is. It's really demanding on our system.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that... sorry if it puts you on the spot.
Oh, no.
But let's go for it.
Okay, boss.
If I approached you today and said, I want you to formulate the greatest health shake for people that'll make them feel good, help their digestion, curb their cravings, just improve their energy without more caffeine, is this the shake that you would formulate?
That's easy.
It is?
Yes, thank you.
I don't know. I put you on the spot.
I was scared.
Well,
No.
you're constantly reaching this.
Yes.
I see you all day long. Anytime we have an idea, you're gone for 2 days researching it deep on the internet like some crazy focused person.
Yes.
And I just wondered, I wonder if this is what you would still formulate.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I could make another shake with a similar blend of ingredients, and I would do it, but the pattern, the way I would do it would still be the same. Like if you cut me from all the ingredients in there and I didn't have access to them, I would just research more ingredients like this. But yeah, I'm proud to say that I would still come up with this.
And you and Darren are still involved. You didn't just formulate it and then go, okay, thanks. But you guys still have regular calls with the research and development team and the ops team to understand what is your role in making sure that this lives up to your name, so that you don't pull your name from it, so that it lives up to the quality that you expect, so that you can continue to drink it.
Well, my role was much more complicated in the beginning, because in the beginning we kind of had to educate the team, because a lot of these ingredients are not the basic mainstream ingredients, and what we demanded, like flavor, we don't use any synthetic flavoring. It's all very natural and processed in a very specific way. So at some point, we really had to go to town and sit down, I think you remember, and really hash it out, how we want it to be done. and what to use. So there was a lot of that in the beginning, how we wanted, the sweetening system, right? We had to talk about Yakun and stevia and Luang Hao and all these things. We had to have long and deep conversation about everything, how to process everything, because we were so demanding. Even if they were great, we wanted more. And we were more purists. We're a pain in the ass, basically.
You and Darren.
Yeah, we're just a pain. And but now they're all on board. The team really knows what they're doing. They understand. They know the principle. So it's not a fight at all. They're more allies and great. Thank God we have them.
So you have the power in the formula. You and Darren have the power in the formulation process to reject those things that even if the case is made and the science is there, you're just like, I don't trust it.
Or certain science is there, but I have to be intelligent in how I go about it. I have to, let's say, bring the science of how it's processed and say, you explain to me how that makes sense to you. So I don't just say I don't want it. I have to explain it. So in that way, yes.
And you started saying how you preferred it when it was gritty, sort of bland, where you could taste the potency. Yeah. But obviously, as we were testing, everybody else rejected it. And so we had to get to work on that.
Darren and I loved it. Everybody else hated it.
So this is cookies and creamy.
Yes.
How can that be healthy for me? Because that is delicious. How did you achieve flavoring? We got snickerdoodle, vanilla, chocolate.
Because you have cacao and you have vanilla and you have cinnamon and you have all sorts of different natural, beautiful herbs that can make everything taste delicious. Healthy food doesn't have to be disgusting. That was way back in the days where we were primitive about it. But there's so many different natural ways to make something taste good. There's a science behind it. We have scientists that enables us to do it in a way that's much better than the crude way that I used to do it back in the days. Now we have processes that allow it to be much more delicate and delicious. But it's just food. You just use natural food from the ground, and it can taste delicious. Now, people that are used to sugar and artificial sweetener and chemicals that makes it addictive, they will have a challenging time with this in the beginning because it is addictive. It's made to make you crazy and want more. So for them, this will be different, and they will have to adapt to it. I think you've experienced a little bit of that, no?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I had to get used to it, and actually, it's become to the point that I really don't enjoy highly sugared things.
Yes.
It's not enjoyable. It tastes wrong.
Yeah.
Compared to something that's just sort of naturally, like we talk about using Shakeology as a basis for healthy desserts.
Yes.
I prefer those desserts. Like when we'll be at a restaurant, somebody will bring out a plate of, the chef wanted to give you a thing. And it's just like, I know I'm going to be miserable. It's so beautiful, but I'm going to be miserable, and I want to get home and have my chocolate Shakeology pudding.
Yeah. Well, you educated your taste buds. Our taste buds are messed up. They're numb or they're just a mess. And you have to sort of re-educate your system to understand what is good for itself.
And how do you do that? Like, do you do that by A, stopping, B, feeding it something else?
Yeah, you just have to slowly feed yourself the healthy food, and your body will slowly recognize what is good for itself and choose that instead. Just like you're saying, most of the time you don't have to force yourself not to eat something. You just know it won't feel right, and you don't eat it. And that's where you have to get. I don't think just pure will work forever. I think you have to get to a place where your body is now back to its natural state where it asks for the right thing. That's the full re-education of your system, and it becomes less of a battle.
How do we get 1 million people to tilt toward improving their own health and wellness, whether it's with this or just other behaviors? What influence can we use to nudge them?
Well, I think I think BODi actually is doing an incredible job as dealing with the main behaviors. You are helping people to choose healthier food. You're giving them a system that's simpler and easy to understand and to adhere to. We are giving them things that will satiate their sweet tooth and nourish them. And the more nourished they get, the more they can put out and have fun with their exercise program. I must be biased, but I really feel you did an incredible job at creating a system that's foolproof. But what I'm thinking about, and I tell me if I'm talking in circles, but unfortunately it seems that we respond to fear-based messaging and vanity. And there's nothing wrong with vanity. We all like to look good and feel good and help and shine and be radiant. But we're willing to put a lot of energy and time in faking it. And so I think that if people really, let's say, dived into what are the benefits of exercise, if they really for themselves looked into what does exercise do for me, if you go in that rabbit hole, it's unbelievable all that it can achieve for you, all that you may avoid in your later years just because you exercise. It's quite incredible to just dive into what exercise is, because in many ways we're being taught to objectify ourselves, and we objectify ourselves in the exercise program. We talk a good talk, but at the end of the day, often it's all vanity, and vanity is thin. So when the challenge comes, you won't stick to it if it's just about vanity. It has to be a profound change internally where you understand that instead of going to the doctor in case to find out if you've got cancer, if you've got osteoporosis, if you've got high blood pressure, if you've got, we have all these fear-based message. And so we're running away from all the things we could have, and we fake it. But we're not changing ourselves enough that we go to the doctor to find out how great we're doing. Meaning it's a real deep understanding of the value of moving our bodies. I learned it the hard way. I lost my ability to move several times and had to rehabilitate myself over and over again. It was hard to not be able to walk and move, play with my son. So I learned the value of what it is to be healthy. I would never compromise it. You don't have to beg me to exercise, but I don't think people value it to the depth of what it is. They'll spend money on that shot. They'll get a facelift. Nothing wrong with all of that, but it's not fixing what is valuable. It's not doing anything to allow yourself to age well and have fun, feel good, really experience a great life. None of that is possible if you're not healthy. So it's a long answer, but the vital behaviors, I think you're dealing with it. I think we're dealing with it, and we're doing a great job. But the depth of understanding and of value of ourselves, I think it needs to be reinforced better, because everywhere else in the world, we're telling you, take that pill, take that shot, all the things that we do to look good, and we're willing to spend money on that. But when it comes to really taking care of yourself, we get cheap.
Well, it's interesting. I have my annual physical coming up, and you're exactly right. Like my family's got a history of high cholesterol. So I would always go, and the doctor would be like, well, we're going to need to put you on a, what do they call it? Lipitor. Lipitor, right? And you would tell me you can't do that. And for various reasons, whatever, we're not prescribing or advising. But now that I have been more consistent with eating right, exercising, and drinking this, and first thing, I know that when I'm going to go there, I'm looking forward to how impressed he's going to be that a 60-year-old is in this shape.
Yeah.
You talked about, where you are in your fitness. So before we wrap up, if you can, what are the last, can you name the last 3 workouts that you did on BODi? Because you work out in our gym with BODi. Do you, give me just...
Well, I did Joel, Megan.
Which one? Which one, though?
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Was it Lift More, Lift 4?
I think it was Lift More.
Okay.
Megan, the latest one.
Sure Thing.
Sure Thing. And believe it or not, I did some of Tony.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
P90X?
Yeah.
You did some Dig Deeper, too, didn't you? Sean.
I did a little bit of Dig Deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to have you on the BODi Experience.
Thank you, boss, for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Okay, now, so if you want to have access to some of the workouts that Isabelle was just referring to, you can get them for free. You can do the samples at BODi, BODi previews.com. Or if you want to stay connected, where I'll give you updates or give you little news and ask questions about what's going on in your life, I have a text group community, and you can just text me and I'll ask you some questions. That number is 818-650-4369. You'll be in my little community. But if you want what I call my healthiest meal of the day, because I make a whole formula out of this where I add some stuff and get it to the point that this could actually be my breakfast every morning, you can get that at Shakeology.com, and then they'll show you what my recipe is on there if you subscribe to monthly shipments of Shakeology. So thank you so much for being with us on the BODi Experience. I hope you get Shakeology for yourself. Enjoy it, whether you're having a shake or you're having mug cake or any other of the dessert recipes that we offer. And I hope you take Isabelle's advice and value your health as much or more than you value your vanity. It'd be good for all of us to get there.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go comb my hair. Thanks, everybody.